The film commences with a profoundly disturbing scene, depicting enigmatic individuals performing a ritual on a young girl. This is not merely any ceremonial act, but specifically a demonic ritual. Upon the completion of this dark rite, these individuals engage in a shocking act of self-sacrifice, as they proceed to commit suicide by cutting their throats. Their gruesome act is deeply rooted in their belief system, as their sacrifice is aimed at fortifying their faith in the devil. Following this horrific event, the narrative shifts its focus back to the girl who was the subject of the ritual. She is shown sleeping, but her slumber is abruptly interrupted as she is woken up by a nightmare and sits upright. The passage of 5 years has elapsed since this traumatic incident, yet the girl remains deeply affected, living in a constant daze and perpetually haunted by nightmares. This enduring state of distress is directly due to the traumatic experience she went through. The girl is identified as Gloria, and she resides with her mother, Ruth. Gloria shares a close bond with a friend named John, a relationship which her mother, Ruth, is not comfortable with. Despite Ruth's discomfort, the two friends, Gloria and John, remain close. The scene then transitions to show Gloria and John attending a therapy session. During this session, another woman present is seen discussing her husband's violation of her. In response to this, John expresses a strong opinion, stating that one should not blame destiny for everything and instead, seek revenge for the violation. This statement highlights John's inherent violent nature and the way she expresses her anger. Subsequently, John and Gloria are seen resting, and John presents Gloria with a necklace as a gift for her upcoming birthday. Following this, John departs, leaving Gloria near her house and returning home. Shortly thereafter, a distressing event unfolds. Gloria is kidnapped and awakens to find herself chained in a van. Demonstrating remarkable presence of mind under duress, Gloria, with considerable difficulty, manages to reach for her phone and calls her mother. However, her kidnapper quickly intervenes, knocking her unconscious again with a drug. Before Gloria completely loses consciousness, her frantic screams can be heard by her mother through the phone call. A crucial detail is observed by her mother during this terrifying call. She notices a demonic mark on the kidnapper's hand, a mark strikingly similar to the one seen on the cultists' hands during the opening ritual. The kidnapper transports Gloria away from the city, taking her deep into a cabin located in the forest. Meanwhile, Joan arrives at the place where she and Gloria habitually supplied food to people. Discovering Gloria's absence, Joan immediately calls Gloria's mother. On the other side, Gloria's mother, having frantically searched her entire house and not finding Gloria, then hears the same voice message on her phone, which contains the recorded screaming of Gloria. Both Ruth and Joan subsequently report Gloria's kidnapping to the police. It is noted that Joan appeared even more worried than Gloria's mother about this kidnapping. Joan's concern escalates as she rudely urges the police to search for Gloria, and she also decides to initiate her own search efforts. She gathers many people at a church, intending to search for Gloria with their help. Concurrently, in the remote cabin, Gloria once again experiences nightmares. Upon regaining her consciousness, she makes a chilling realization. She recognizes this kidnapper as one of the cultists who had performed the ritual on her 5 years ago. The kidnapper attempts to reassure her, explaining that he is doing all this for her safety. He states that he'll keep her here for a set period of time, and she will be released as the danger's complexity decreases. Gloria, however, finds herself unable to comprehend the man's intentions. After some time, she directly questions him, asking why he is doing such a thing to her. He then reveals a crucial detail: "I had caught your sight when the ritual was being performed on you. I did not like that and I had dramatized of suicide when everyone was cutting his throat." So he escaped from there avoiding suicide. He reiterates his claim, again telling her that he is doing it for her safety. As time passes, the kidnapper begins to experience disturbing visual distortions, visualizing as Gloria is seducing him. Struggling to stabilize himself, he then notices that Gloria's condition is worsening, with her mouth bleeding and her overall state deteriorating further. Back in the city, the police discover the necklace outside, which was Gloria's birthday gift from John. John actively engages in the search, going everywhere carrying pamphlets stating that Gloria is missing. She questions people about Gloria's whereabouts. When a boy refuses to provide any information, John's violent nature resurfaces. She becomes violent and interrogates him after placing her knife on his neck. Meanwhile, in the cabin, Gloria again experiences terrifying hallucinations, seeing the same cultists, which fills her with fear. The kidnapper intervenes, restoring her senses and stabilizing her. Both Gloria and the kidnapper experience these hallucinations, and he tells Gloria that she will have to stay there until dawn, assuring her, "You are safe here. Everything will be all right after that." Ruth contacts Joan, and a police officer is also present during their conversation. The police officer begins to investigate Joan about the necklace and her violent action of placing a knife on a man's throat. Suspecting her involvement, the officer asks Joan to come for further investigation. In a shocking display of extreme violence, Joan stabs the knife into the police officer first. Immediately afterward, she finishes Ruth after demanding information about Gloria. Back in the cabin, Gloria's condition continues to worsen. She asks the kidnapper for his name, and he reveals it to be Thomas. Gloria presses him further, asking, what is going on with her? Thomas then divulges critical information. The ritual performed on you 5 years ago, it was actually performed to bring back Devil Abaddon into the world. It is performed under the light of the locust moon. Tonight is also locust moon. The ritual will be performed tonight for bringing Abaddon into the world. He explains that, with all these factors in mind, they have made Gloria a target. Gloria, recalling the past, mentions that all cultists had committed suicide there. Thomas clarifies, stating, everyone did not sacrifice his life. He also points out that Joan is still requesting people to search for Gloria. A significant revelation occurs as Joan visits a secret place within her house, where a statue of Devil Abaddon is fixed. She apologizes to Abaddon, lamenting, I have lost Gloria, and then proceeds to punish herself for this failure. It is at this moment that a great fact is revealed: Joan was a cultist. Her relationship with Gloria was not based on love. Instead, making Gloria her pawn, she wanted to bring Devil Abaddon into the world on this locust moon night. This sinister motive is the true reason why she was searching for Gloria with such keen interest. Gloria's physical suffering intensifies as her back is pained. Thomas, upon checking, discovers 2 holes on her back. The sight of this frightens him deeply. Driven by fear and a grim determination to end the escalating horror, he moves to another room to retrieve a knife in order to finish Gloria, thereby ending this story. However, as he approaches her, an eerie turn of events unfolds. Gloria seduces him, and both fall unconscious. In that moment, a shocking transformation occurs, and Gloria is transformed into Abaddon. Seeing what appears to be Abaddon, Thomas is initially frightened, but then finds nothing later. The underlying reason for this phenomenon is that she was bewitched from the time the ritual was performed on her. This meant that the devilish power within Gloria was actively stopping Thomas from killing her, because Gloria was merely a pawn through whom Abaddon would step into the world. Upon regaining some semblance of awareness, Gloria requests Thomas to take her to a doctor. Thomas, however, dismisses this, saying, it will not be secure. Meanwhile, Joan receives crucial information from a man who had seen a van near Gloria's house, and the driver had a burn mark on his face. The man further reveals the path the van took. Upon hearing this, Joan understands the situation and heads in that direction with her friend. A shocking family truth is then exposed: Thomas and Joan are siblings. Furthermore, the cabin where Thomas brought Gloria is actually their parents' cabin. Gloria expresses a desire to meet Joan to Thomas. Thomas then reveals a dark secret of their shared past, explaining that it was Gloria who was the cause of his burnt face and broken foot. He explains to Gloria that Joan is relentlessly searching for her because she desires the presence of Abaddon in this world. He emphasizes the critical need to remain within the cabin, stating that it cannot be out of danger to step outside before dawn. When Gloria is left alone in the cabin, she experiences an intense terror, encountering the Devil Abaddon. Fleeing from the terrifying vision, she informs Thomas about it. Thomas brings her back into the cabin and observes alarming physical changes. Gloria's hair fall has continued, and more horrifically, wings are growing from the holes on her back. He understands with chilling certainty that the devil laid inside her is now coming out. Faced with this horrific reality, Thomas decides to finish Gloria. However, despite his resolve, observing her severely worsened condition, he is unable to shoot her. At this critical juncture, the inner devil of Gloria speaks out, issuing a dire warning to Thomas: after my rebirth, I will be your soul taker. With these words, the devil proceeds to empower Thomas and scare him, forcing him to visualize terrifying burning sights. Overwhelmed by fear, Thomas runs outside the cabin. In a parallel development, Joan reaches near Thomas's van, and upon noticing Gloria's cell phone, she confirms that Gloria has indeed arrived at this location. Without hesitation, she also finishes her friend. Spotting Thomas, Joan attacks him, rendering him unconscious. As Gloria's transformation progresses, Joan arrives and begins her ritual. Gloria's condition has severely deteriorated, and Thomas, meanwhile, has regained his senses. Thomas desperately tries his best to explain the gravity of the situation to Joan, but his efforts are entirely in vain before her unwavering resolve. She dismisses his warnings, replying, "I can feel the coming arrival of her devil Abaddon." Unperturbed, she begins to utter a series of satanic words. As a direct consequence of her incantations, all devilish souls are summoned and arrive there. That Satan is empowered as Joan speaks out the satanic words, and this malevolent force then gets over Gloria, completely possessing her. Thomas, breaking through the door, enters inside to stop Joan. However, Satan again asserts its power, visualizing frightening images to Thomas while capturing his mind. With immense effort, Thomas breaks free from the devil's trance and attacks Joan with an axe. But the demonic power is too strong. Satan then captures Gloria and chains Thomas, throwing him away. With only a short time remaining until daybreak, Thomas manages to set himself free. However, the continued utterance of Joan's satanic words and the lingering presence of satanic souls cause Satan to reappear there. In a desperate and final act to halt the ritual and prevent Abaddon's full manifestation, Thomas kills Joan. This act of violence, paradoxically, creates a moment of peace there. Thomas then takes Gloria outside, just as the sun is beginning to rise. Thomas speaks to Gloria, reminding her, "I had promised of your safety till dawn." To his apparent relief, Gloria is alive and comes back into consciousness. Thomas expresses his pleasure at seeing her alive. However, Gloria responds with a chilling and ominous statement, "I had also told you that I will take your soul above all." Immediately after this declaration, she finishes him. Following this final act of betrayal, Gloria begins to transform, growing like Satan, and her wings grow like Abaddon. At this conclusive point, it becomes unequivocally clear that Gloria is no longer Gloria, but she has completely transformed into Abaddon Satan. Abaddon is depicted as a powerful and malevolent entity, considered the angel of evil. The very name Abaddon is defined as destruction, as it brings devastation. He is also portrayed as the commander of a swarm of locusts. The description of Abaddon's physical form is specific. Abaddon's face is like human beings, his body is like a horse, and he possesses girls-like hair. In summary, this entity is described as a dangerous devil, so fearsome that even other demons are said to be afraid of him. This culmination provides significant insight into the nature of Devil Abaddon, and the movie concludes with this chilling transformation.